It began with a horse. In the second half of the 1800s, St. Louis was a busy industrial city, seeing millions of tons of products a year arrive by boat, train, and wagon. Horses were used to haul those goods: lumber, bricks, tools, even ammunition. Everything needed for a home or business here and on the western frontier landed on our riverfront and was carried for miles throughout our growing city. Sadly, many of the horses that were essential to keep goods moving were overworked, beaten, and starved. They were often seen not as living creatures, but as pieces of machinery to be pushed to the limit and then disposed of. In the year 1870, a group of St. Louisans decided these dedicated animals needed our protection. Determined to ensure that they received adequate food, water, and rest, these compassionate men and women were part of a pioneering movement focusing on ending animal neglect and abuse. Together, they formed what is now one of the oldest and largest animal welfare organizations in the United States, the Humane Society of Missouri. For the first 60 years of our history, the focus of humane treatment for all living things included both animals and children, those without a voice who needed others to intervene and speak up for them. The Humane Society of Missouri was proudly involved, not only in the removal of children from abusive homes and in saving animals from unspeakable cruelty, but in the prosecution of the abusers. By the late 1930s, new organizations that focused on stopping child abuse had opened, and the Humane Society of Missouri was able to focus its attention solely on animals. Providing a defense for the defenseless is a daunting and never-ending battle that continues today. We've always believed that animals not only deserve adequate food, shelter, and medical care, but also our patience, compassion, and love. Since the 1940s, the Humane Society's Animal Cruelty Task Force has been called upon to rescue thousands of animals from abuse, starvation, and abandonment every year. Missouri is routinely recognized as the worst state in the nation for our substandard dog breeding industry. Known as puppy mills, we continue to fight to protect these poor animals from the horrendous conditions some breeders force them to live in, and to help prosecute those breeders. The Humane Society has also taken up the battle against dog fighting. In 2009, we were part of a multi-state effort that rescued over 500 dogs involved in this inhumane blood sport, where dogs are trained to fight with each other to death for entertainment and profit. Our Animal Cruelty Task Force also provides emergency disaster response. Often working in dangerous situations, our brave team provides rescue, shelter, and support for animals large and small in areas hit by natural disasters throughout the United States. In 1923, we opened our first veterinary clinic, and since its beginning, it's been home to countless innovations and advances. Its groundbreaking work includes such milestones as being one of the first clinics to offer rabies vaccines. Perhaps its greatest legacy is the work done by Dr. Suzanne Ceresek, the first female veterinarian in the state of Missouri. Chief, as she was commonly known, joined the staff in 1951 and spent over 50 years working to improve the health and welfare of animals in our community. In 2000 and 2001, the Humane Society launched two aggressive spay-neuter initiatives to tackle pet overpopulation in Metro St. Louis. The first was to spay-neuter every single adoptable animal in our shelter prior to going to their new home. The second was Operation SNP, which stands for Spay-Neuter Incentive Program. The SNP program provides free or low-cost surgery, and it's still in existence today. Since tracking began, the total number of spay-neuter surgeries performed by the Humane Society is well over 400,000. And as of 2020, our spay-neuter efforts have prevented an estimated 1 billion unhoused, unwanted stray animals and improved the lives of thousands of animals we care for every year. Today, our veterinary medical center is known as the Animal Medical Center of Mid-America, and it's the largest in Missouri, with 2 locations, over 30,000 clinic visits, and 17,000 surgeries performed every year. We continue to be innovators in pet wellness programs and are home to one of only a handful of pain management and rehabilitation centers in the state. In 1988, we opened our large animal rehabilitation center in Longmeadow Farm in Union, Missouri. Known today as Longmeadow Rescue Ranch and situated on 165 rolling acres of land, the ranch is home to abused and neglected horses, pigs, goats, and other farm animals while they're rehabbed and eventually placed up for adoption. Longmeadow also serves as a place of learning for children throughout the St. Louis area who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to see and interact with animals who live on ranches and farms. Education has long been a focus of the Humane Society. Every year, nearly 30,000 students take part in at least one of our many learning programs, from field trips to summer camp. Our Shelter Buddies reading program is a pioneering program which has been duplicated at shelters throughout the United States. Shelter Buddies brings our shelter dogs and young readers together to help build confidence in our pups while they wait for their new forever family to adopt them. And the program teaches empathy while building reading skills in young people. During the 150-year history of the Humane Society of Missouri, we have probably been best known for our adoption services. Honestly, we don't know how many hundreds of thousands of animals we've placed in forever homes. Animals that have been victims of horrible abuse, heartbreaking neglect, or were just surrendered through no fault of their own. Animals who have suffered from unspeakable cruelty, or were simply abandoned and left to die from starvation or disease. Animals that were in desperate need not only of physical healing, but also kindness, patience, and compassion. We do know that every single child who reaches out arms to hold a kitten for the first time, every family that brings an older dog into the home for a few more years of laughter and love, and every person who finds a furry companion here is as committed to giving animals a second chance as we have been for more than a century and a half. Every case of animal abuse and neglect is unique, and each one reminds us that animals remain trusting, resilient, and loyal when we give them their second chance for a healthy and happy life. Today, thanks to your generous support, the work continues. With your help, the work of giving animals a second chance through rescue, healing, and finding loving homes will go on for another 150 years. The work that began with a horse.